Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Krishna ji, your mic is muted. Krishna ji, your mic is muted.
You're not audible, Preeti ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Rishabh this side.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So, Ankita, how many participants we have right now?
Right now we have 70.
How many?
70 participants right now.
Okay, so it is time. So, shall we start, Preeti ma'am? And one request to all the participants: kindly mute your audios when the presentation is going on. It is mandatory. Kindly do not unmute at the time of presentation.
I think we should start, ma'am.
Yes, Kriti ma'am, please start.
Yeah. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Good morning, our honored guests, fellow teachers, and my dear parents. I, Kriti Rastogi, on behalf of St. Anandram Jaipuria, Alambagh family, welcome you all to decode the rules, regulations, and norms of the new National Education Policy. It has become the talk of the town amongst educationists. St. Anandram Jaipuria Alambagh has always been a pioneer in adapting new and effective ways of imparting and sharing knowledge. Keeping to our tradition, we are starting a series of online talks, Prabodhan, at AR Jaipuria Alambagh, the Enlightenment Series 1, that will engage not only students but teachers, parents, and other stakeholders in valuable learning experiences. Today we have with us our esteemed guests, Dr. Preeti Mathur, Dr. Sunil Kumar, and Mrs. Krishna Kumari, who are here with us today to help us understand NEP. Dr. Preeti Mathur is working in Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Lucknow, as Assistant Professor. Dr. Mathur completed her post-graduation from Patna University and PhD from CSIR organization, Central Institute of Medicinal and Aromatic Plants, and postdoctorate from ICAR organization, Indian Institute of Sugar. She has filed 3 patents and published many research papers in reputed national and international journals. I request all the participants to just please mute so that we have a really easy communication amongst each other. Participants, it's a request.
Kriti ma'am, unmute yourself.
Dr. Mathur has filed 3 patents and published many research papers in reputed national and international journals and has worked for various national and international conferences. She has been awarded for her research on herbal antibiotics and has more than 20 years of teaching experience at a wide range, be it at a school, college, graduate, postgraduate, and even at PhD level. I would like to request Dr. Mathur to deliver her thoughts on the topic. And along with it, I would like to request all the panelists and speakers to make this presentation in a convenient way so that our parents can also understand this very complex discussion. Thank you. Dr. Mathur, the stage is all yours.
हाँ अभी आ गई अभी आ गई।
अपने आप को म्यूट करिए आपके।
And I am very thankful for Mrs. Krishna to giving me opportunity to join this webinar and very important topic, new education policy. What is the focus point of new education policy? And here I am sharing slides. So please mute your mic. When anybody is discussing, please, all of you requested to mute your mic. Hello.
Good morning, ma'am.
Parents and my dear students, good morning to all. Please don't speak in between. We have a presentation. We have already begun our presentation. Please focus. Okay? Thank you. Dr. Mathur, please continue.
Ma'am, your voice. Mathur ma'am, your voice.
Now it is audible. Somebody has muted me.
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am, it's audible. Yes, ma'am, it's audible. Please carry on.
Okay, my slide is visible, Dr. Mrs. Krishna. Slide is visible.
Yes, ma'am, slide is also visible. Carry on.
Okay. So this new education policy is against the rules of our country and thus give opportunities to develop them as a global citizen. This policy, it came into functional from 2022 and it is after 34 years. ये जो एजुकेशन पॉलिसी आई है ये 34 साल के बाद आई है। सबसे पहले एजुकेशन पॉलिसी जो बनी थी हमारी वो 1968 में बनी थी। फिर 19 हुआ और ये 34 ईयर के बाद, मतलब एक लंबा गैप है एजुकेशन पॉलिसी को रिफॉर्म करने में। ये 34 ईयर का हुआ जो अभी बनी है और तो मेरे ख्याल से 1 साल के बाद ही होना है, लेकिन 2020 तो हमारी एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 10+2 की थी, ये अब हो गई 5+3+3+4। ये ही बात मैं कर रही हूँ। 10+2 तक था 12th क्लास और अब ये डिवाइड कर दिया गया है 5+3+3+4 जो कि कृष्णा मैम बताएंगी और हमारे जो आगे सुनील जी हैं वो बताएंगे। तो ये मैं आगे थोड़ा सा और जो इसकी की पॉइंट्स है उस पर मैं फोकस करना चाह रही हूँ। ये देखिए, ये हाउ टू स्टडी से, व्हाट टू स्टडी से, हाउ टू स्टडी
और चिकू हम लोग ये बुक पढ़े,
उससे हम ये आ जाएंगे कि हमें इसको कैसे पढ़ना है और कैसे लाइफ में और जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री तो एक सपना है आत्मनिर्भर भारत।
Where are the ducks? These are the ducks. Ducks say quack quack with your quack quack with your ears.
अभी भी कुछ लोगों के माइक में
How do you smell?
कर लें। ये हमारा जैसे मैंने बताया आत्मनिर्भर भारत की तरफ हम आ जाएंगे और इसमें एक बहुत बात रखी गई है अपनी मदर टंग पे मतलब बच्चों को शुरुआत में ये अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी कि वो अपनी मदर टंग में पढ़ाई करें। तो इसके आगे भी हमारी बातें होंगी, डिस्कशन मैम पर करेंगे और कोडिंग पे और इंटर्नशिप पे ध्यान रखा गया है। वोकेशनल कोर्स डाला जाएगा, स्कूल से ही वोकेशनल कोर्स डाला जाएगा ताकि बच्चे कुछ पढ़ाई के साथ एक जो रूटीन वाली पढ़ाई है उसके साथ में कुछ चीजें सीखे भी, ताकि उसको लाइफ में कभी भी एज ए बिजनेस लेना है तो वो उसको ले सकते हैं आगे। स्कूलिंग अब 3 साल से शुरू होगी, वैसे भी 3 साल से होती थी लेकिन कंट्रोल नहीं था 3 साल में। वो नर्सरी प्रेप वगैरह काफी फ्री स्कूल्स में होते थे लेकिन अब प्रॉपर 3 साल से बच्चे पढ़ाई करने लगेंगे। ये भी बहुत अच्छा है। ये इसलिए अच्छा है कि बच्चों में 34 साल में बच्चों में काफी डेवलपमेंट क्या है, उनको बहुत मिला, कंप्यूटर का मिला, नेट का मिला, तो ये बहुत अच्छा साल से ही आज उनकी पूरी गाइडेंस होती। ये आपका फी के बारे में ये आगे मैम भी बताएंगे कि ये डिपेंड कर दिया गया कि कैटेगरी वाइज स्कूल की कैटेगरीज बनेंगे और उसके हिसाब से ही स्कूल फीस ले पाएंगे। सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात यहाँ पे जो ये पॉइंट मैं दिखा रही हूँ, इसमें आपकी कोई भी नहीं है अब तो ग्रेजुएशन का कोई भी स्कूल नहीं, कॉमर्स नहीं, कोई एक अलग से कॉमर्स लेने की जरूरत नहीं कि हम कॉमर्स की फील्ड में हैं, या ऐसा नहीं है कि हम आपकी ये ह्यूमैनिटीज में हैं या हम साइंस में हैं, आप उसको लेके पढ़िए। ये एक बहुत ही सराहनीय कदम है, बहुत ही अच्छा है। ये बच्चों के लिए बहुत ही फायदा, इसमें बहुत ज्यादा फायदा होने वाला है। और इसमें मतलब काफी गवर्नमेंट का काफी एक बड़ा जो बजट है वो इस पे जाएगा। अभी कहा जा रहा है कि जीडीपी का 6% इस पे यूज करेंगे, तो ये बहुत अच्छा है कि शिक्षा पे इतना ध्यान दिया गया है। और रिजल्ट जो है अब बनेगा मार्क्स बेस, तो बनेगा ही सब्जेक्ट के मार्क्स पे। सेल्फ असेसमेंट में भी इसमें कुछ पॉइंट्स रखे जाएंगे, पीयर असेसमेंट में पॉइंट रखेंगे, आपके दोस्त आपके बारे में क्या कहते हैं और टीचर्स आपके बारे में क्या कहते हैं। तो ये सारी चीजें मतलब पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट की यहाँ बात हो रही है, सिर्फ आपकी ये नहीं कि आपका 95% आ गया, 96% आ गया, 100% आ गया, लेकिन आपकी पर्सनैलिटी कुछ नहीं है। मतलब आपका कम्युनिकेशन, आपकी चारों तरफ आप किस तरह से बिहेव करते हैं, वो सब अभी तक नहीं था, जो अब इसमें असेसमेंट में आएगा। तो फिर बच्चे अपने आप को में खुद को भी बहुत डेवलप कर लेंगे इन बिहेवियर वाली बातों में। फिर ये अभी कहा जा रहा है कि सेंट्रली कंट्रोल्ड होगा, मतलब एक इसकी बॉडी होगी जो कि गवर्नमेंट के पास होगी। अब ये डेवलपमेंट होने के बाद ही पता चलेगा। इम्पोर्टेंट एजुकेशनल कोर्स रखा जाएगा, ये बच्चों को रिसर्च तो मैंने इंट्रोडक्शन में ही बोला कि मैं आऊंगी हायर एजुकेशन से। अब आप ये बताइए, मैं आपको कीर्ति, प्लीज ओवर टू कीर्ति।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Your words truly intrigued us with the topic. It was really interesting. It really caught our attention. Now over to Krishna ma'am. Krishna ma'am is the principal of St. Anandram Jaipuria School, Alambagh campus, and has been into the field of education since last 25 years. She has a master's degree in applied microbiology and master's in education as well. She is also a trained international baccalaureate teacher. She has been serving as the head of institution since last 10 years. She has taken keen interest in evolving effective and efficient methodologies of teaching and learning, wherein learning is always child-centric. Krishna ma'am, over to you.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So I welcome you all once again to Prabodhan at SAJS Alambagh, the Enlightenment series of St. Anandram Jaipuria School, Alambagh campus. So we are a community of learners who do not miss out on any opportunity to create new learning experiences and opportunities. So Prabodhan is a series of webinars that is intended to bring all the stakeholders, students, parents, teachers under one platform to discuss the best practices. So today we are discussing the changes that have come about in NEP, National Education Policy 2020. Preeti ma'am has already highlighted the key features of this. Now, one of the most important features of this is shift from the classical 10+2 system to 5+3+3+4. So all the three panelists are going to discuss together different parameters or different aspects of this education plus higher education beyond this 4. So my forte will be the first 2 digits that you can see here, 5 and 3. This 5 years is the foundation stage. The first 5 years, which include 3 years of pre-primary school covering age groups of 3 to 6 years. That is before the child will enter class 1. Now, next 2 years is the primary school in age groups of 6 to 8 years, wherein the child will be in class 1 and 2. And this is one of the most important focuses of the New Education Policy 2020, wherein a very flexible, multi-level, play, activity, and discovery-based learning stimulus will be given to the child. Now, I'm going to discuss about this early childhood learning in detail. The next stage, that will be the preparatory stage. Once the child has completed class 2, they'll be moving to class 3, 4, and 5, wherein we are going to move on to simple textbooks and introduce experiential learning, wherein the child is going to explore and build his learning. Subjects like science, mathematics, arts, humanities, physical education will be an integral part of this. And a very detailed curriculum for same is going to be designed by NCERT, which will cover the students in the age group till 8 years. Now, this is again showing how the foundational stage is being structured. Now, what is important in this again here is, 1 second. Yeah. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, did you see the previous graph we seen, the trajectory?
No.
This was seen or not?
No, no.
No, ma'am, no.
Start from here on.
Okay. So, very quickly, this graph is showing how the development of the child, the cognitive development can be influenced. The red line shows when you do not give proper input during the early childhood. And the green graph, see how high it is going, the trajectory, only by supportive services during early childhood. Okay, there is another graph to show the same. Our sensitivities, like I told you, different color showing different sensitivities. For example, black is showing the number skills, which is highest, as we can see, around 3.5 years. Right? And it may become stable around 7 years, but it is higher. So at this time, the numeric skills have to be captured. Similarly, the social skills, how you behave, how you talk, how you respond. Here, the blue one, the identification of symbols, it is higher, even at highest at the age of 2 years. Hearing, vision, emotional control, they all decline after 6 years. Whereas symbol language, they become stable after 7 years. So I'm showing this so that you understand what is the importance of ECCE and why the new education policy is focusing so much on these foundational years. So I hope all our parent participants, they have understood that the beginning years, शुरू के साल जो है 0 to 6 years, child का बहुत important है, with family for 3 years and then in schooling, in preschooling for proper inputs, wherein we cover all the domains of the, it's not unidimensional, it has to be multidimensional, wherein is physical, motor, cognitive, sensory development, emotional, creativity, and language development and number skills. These have to be catered. And to cater to this, you know, the various parameters that are to be looked after include the most important. We have to work on the curiosity of the child. Like there's a key word that has come up, learning to learn. We don't have to learn, we should learn how to learn. Now, when we know how to learn, we'll become self-learners and lifelong learners. So in early childhood, we cater to developing the curiosity of the child. Even in classes 3 to 8 and beyond, logical thinking and problem solving, very important, art, craft, music, whether you love nature, whether you care for nature, whether you respect yourself and you have a sense of identity, you have sense of right and wrong, then all the play-based activities wherein you discover your own learning, you do things and then you learn, okay, it happens like this. Most teamwork and very important etiquettes, manners, and emotional development. So these activities, they cover the entire domain that will be catered in the ECCE. So finally, this is a long slide, but the key gesture of the summary of this is the objective is to give stimulus to the child so that all his domains develop, because one domain influences the other, whether it is cognitive, whether it is communication, or it is aesthetic. So they all influence each. When we work on these for the first 6 years, the child is ready. The child is initially ready to move from home to early care, and from early care to formal schooling, where his personality is open to overall development in a holistic manner. So the new education policy focuses on the early childhood and care. And by when is this to be achieved? This must be achieved by the year 2030. So it aims to achieve that all our kids are in schools with proper early childhood and care by the year 2030. Now, to be able to be ready, one most important term has been included in this policy, which is called FLN, Foundation, Literacy and Numeracy. This is simple ability to read, write and perform basic mathematical operations. So there should be a minimum learning outcome that has to be there, wherein the child should be able to read, write and do simple mathematical operations, and that must be achieved by class 3. Nation right now, as per all the research done, is into a kind of crisis with respect to FLN, Foundational Literacy and Numeracy, wherein we have very poor data on this. So because when we don't build up on FLN, where are we going to go to higher education? So this has to be achieved by the year 2025, and for this, lot of effort is going to be done to create resources so that FLN is achieved, because this is the primary step. This has to be done to the T. Now, the resources that are being generated and proposed for this, there is going to be a huge number of books, book promotion for both public and private libraries. Then there is going to be a national repository, wherein through Diksha, that is digital sharing of knowledge, there will be a lot of content available. There will be libraries in school and public libraries. And one more important thing here is those kids who have missed out on early childhood care, they will be put into a compulsory 3 months schooling, wherein the child will be given a revision of all the concepts of numbers, figures, alphabets and digits, so that the child is ready. And for what the child has to be ready, your child has to be ready to go to school. And when will I say the child is ready? When the child is eager to learn, when the child wants to learn, and when the child is comfortable in mother language but is also responsive and is ready to go bilingual and multilingual. There is provision to boost school readiness if the child has missed out on early years of childhood. So your child will be ready when he can handle print material, when he can understand the meaning of words and he can write, and number readiness when he can write, when he can, pre-number concepts are there, big, small, thin, short, then he can classify. So that time the child is said to be ready. But it's not only the child who has to be ready. The schools also have to be ready. And as we see, a lot of my parents are there, and I think we'll watch for this. We are almost onto a ready school, whereon we cater to different kinds of learners who have different needs, who learn at different paces. And not only that, we have to cater or connect to our parents, and we have to relate to their different cultures, and only then the child will feel comfortable. We give different experiences to our students so that, most important, there is smooth transition from ECCE to primary school. And last but not the least, trained teachers are to be there. And we at our school are especially focusing from pre-primary to class 5, wherein we have done a series of trainings with a lot of trainers from across the country, wherein we are implementing the complements of ECCE in setting up classrooms as per the guidelines of ECCE, wherein we have different corners, the library corner, the dramatics corner, the art and craft corner. These are being designed in the classrooms, and in the coming years, it is going to be implemented into its full and 100% reuse and recycle of materials that are generated to do all the learning work in pre-primary and primary classes. So along with the schools, the parents also should be ready families to send their children to school, who read a lot to their kids, who talk a lot to their kids. So parents, when you talk to your kids, when you read to them, actually you're preparing them well in advance to go to school. So when the child, the school and the families are ready, your child is ready for formal education, and then he moves from class 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. And most important here again, there is going to be assessment in grade 3, 5 and 8, right? To test the achievement of the child. This is not to, this is not for panicking. This is just to see whether the learning goals that we had set has been achieved at class 3. And after seeing those results, we are going to see whether our foundational literacy has worked out or not. So class 3 is going to be a very, very important stage wherein we will check onto our achievement of foundational literacy and numeracy. Now there is a new center going to be set up for this particular purpose, right, which is called PARAK, Performance Assessment, Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. Now, all the evaluation is going to be competency based. It's not going to be just exam based. It's going to check the competency of the child and promote critical thinking of the 21st century skills. There are other goals of PARAK that you can see here. They are going to, this is going to be a planned survey wherein state-wise and nationwide achievement of the children will be monitored, because when we monitor the achievement only, we can go further on. One more topic that I would like to cover here, that in foundational stages, language is very, very important. Language, as you know, your limit is decided by your language. And Indian languages are known to be rich, are known to be scientific. So this policy gives special emphasis on language, that every child initially should learn in the mother tongue or home language or local language till class 5 or preferably till class 8. Books will be made available for, especially for maths and science, in local languages also. Even if books are not available, teachers will communicate and help the child to learn in local language. As the child gets confidence, through class 8 to higher classes, he will still learn his mother language, but will also pick up other languages. So the child is supposed to be multilinguistic, and 2 to 8 years of age is the peak when the language learning ability is maximum. I showed you that slide wherein the language learning ability peak was obtained between 2 to 3 years. So it is important to introduce the child to different languages at this stage, right? But still the basic learning will be best in the mother tongue. The language is going to be taught in a very, very interesting way through the rich literature that we have, art, music, poetry, and theater, so that it is never ever going to be boring. And very important, children will take up a science project. Who is scribbling? Please avoid this. Now, every child will take up a very interesting project on language, wherein they will compare different languages, how they are similar, how they are different, what is the literature. So all kids are will be exposed to the rich language at a very, very early age. There has to be no fear here. There is no restriction. Foreign languages will also be taught, and also classical language. Of course, Sanskrit is here. Option will be given to learn Sanskrit, and initial years, for 2 years, you can choose for 2 years to learn a language across class 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And higher education also, the same language can be learned. And in classical language, beyond Sanskrit, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, then other classical languages also be promoted. So basically, this is what is there, the focus on the early childhood, the foundational years. So 5 plus 3, I've discussed with you. If there are any queries, we can discuss at the end. So basically what the new education policy wants the child to be happy, child to inquire, question, communicate, be creative, be open-minded, and should be sensitive to diversity, respectful, and very important, a lifelong learner. So these foundational stages, if we take care of early childhood and care, the child is definitely going to be a lifelong learner. Thank you so much. And these are some of the pics of my students here. Over to Kriti. Thank you, ma'am.
I would ask Ankita ma'am. Ankita ma'am,
Yes,
do
ma'am.
we have time left? How much time do we have with us?
Less than 1 minute, ma'am.
Why? He has not given us time?
No, no. So we'll restart it
We
again.
restart it.
we'll-
You reschedule it.
Okay,
Reschedule it
okay,
again.
okay, okay. Fine.
Just announce
We-
to the parents, Kriti ma'am. Please announce to the parents.
We'll join back again after a few minutes. A link will be sent to you again, and please join in again so that we can learn more about this topic. Parents and teachers, please be with us in 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So thank you so much, Krishna ma'am. You really simplified such a complex text to understand. Now we have with us Dr. Sunil Kumar, who is working as the principal of CMS HMEL Bathinda. He is PhD in political science and has done management in educational administration. He started his career as an assistant professor in 1999. For his achievements in academics, he is conferred on E. Ashirvadan Gold Medal. He has more than 20 years of teaching experience in and administration. Besides this, he is also a national level badminton player and a resource person of CBSE Capacity Building Program. We welcome you, sir. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Kirti. First of all, a very good afternoon to all of you. My sincere greetings to all the listeners and my gratitude to Krishna ma'am and Preeti ma'am for organizing such a wonderful webinar on national education policy. So please accept my sincere greetings and gratitude, all the listeners. Very nicely, Preeti ma'am and Krishna ma'am has explained you the overall features and of course about foundational and preparatory stages of new education policy. Here I am going to talk about, and this is, I'm not going to talk, but I'm going to discuss about some core areas of middle stage and secondary stage in this national education policy. While going through this national education policy and after interacting with many scholars, what is my takeaway is there is nothing big or complex here in this education policy. Rather, this education policy has been simplified. Now, in this education policy, we see two very important area where all the developer or the scholars have emphasized on, and that one is knowledge and second one is Indianization of Indian education or in Indian education system. So knowledge and Indian education system or Indianization of education system. Now, what is this? We all must have studied somewhere in our college or during B.Ed courses that knowledge is doubling every 5 years. Every 5 years. But the policy which we had been practicing or we have been practicing is 34 to 35 years old. So if you calculate if knowledge is doubling every 5 years, so 5 and 7-fold, So where we stand now, the policy which we made 34 years back, still we are practicing, and there is a lot of changes occurred or has happened in our education system. Now, to understand this education policy, we have to follow the three golden circle rule, that is movement from why to what. And what we were doing earlier, we were moving from what, how to why. So why this education policy now? I have shared my first takeaway or from the entire education policy. Second thing, in this education policy, we get to see that a lot of emphasis you will find on learning outcome. Now, what is learning outcome and learning objective? We all very well know. When we talk about knowledge and learning outcome, when we teach what? So that is learning, that covers almost learning objective. But when we teach, how we try to attain, or we try to really educate. So in this education policy, you will see a smooth shift from what to how. One more thing, that I would not say there is a new change or something new has been introduced. Almost all private schools or international schools are following this, and we are again in this policy trying to get back the lost prestige of Indian education system, what we had during primitive or medieval time, ancient or medieval time, not primitive, sorry. When you go through the entire education system, what we had earlier and what international schools are practicing now, they follow three rules: voice, choice, and relationship. Voice, choice, and relationship. So in this policy, a new education policy, you will see that a lot of emphasis has been given on voice of students. Students should have a lot of voice. Then they should have choice. So that you will also see they are given a lot of choices now. Very flexible approach we will get to see in this education policy, and a lot of emphasis on relationship. Relationship, mother, father, parent, teachers, friend, and other stakeholders as well. So when you analyze the entire education policy, you will, yes, there is a 20% change, but 80% of what you get to see or what you take as a change is, I don't think it's a big change, but what we are trying to bring back what we lost long back. So Preeti ma'am and Krishna ma'am has already explained you the first two stages of foundational stage and preparatory stage, that is till class 5th. I'll try to throw some light on the next two stages, that is middle and secondary stage in this education policy. So what is this? First of all, this education policy in its principle has mentioned that to develop good human being, to make students capable of rational thought and action, possessing compassion, empathy, courage, resilience, scientific temper, creativity, and imagination. Now, we are already following all these principles. And again, we see that now in this policy, the policy makers have tried to give more emphasis on these principles. So nothing new in this. So we will discuss more about the changes. Now, why this education policy has been brought after 35 years? The one very important reason is the dropouts. No, when you see 2-3 years data, a survey report says
Dear parents, please keep your mic off.
Kirti ma'am, they have right to enjoy voice. Huh? So so okay.
They have right to make noise. Sunil sir said make noise. So they make noise. Okay, sir.
Voice is shifting to noise. Okay. All right. So you'll see that the gross enrollment rate in last 2-3 years between grade 6 to 8 is 90.9%. When they move from class 8 to 9, the gross enrollment rate comes down to 79% almost. And to your shock and surprise, when it moves from 10th to 11, it comes down to 56%, almost around 56%. This is really threatening and serious issue. And that's why the scholars thought that the new education policy should be brought. And between a group of 6 to 17 years of age group of children in India, as per 2017-18 survey report, we have 3 do not go to school. So again, this is one serious case. So what we are going to do in this middle and secondary stage, as per this policy, will focus more on sufficient infrastructure. Infrastructure does not mean only the building or concrete structure, but all the resources required to improve and bring on proper line the learning environment. Second step government is taking will be taking is carefully tracking students as well as their learning levels, ensuring quality education, and of course by involving community. That we'll see later, but see the changes in a middle stage first. First one is, this is middle stage comprises 3 years of schooling, 6 to 8, class 6, 7th and 8th, and this will cover age group of student 11 to 14. Now in this middle stage, this education policy introduces more abstract concept in each subject, from general to concrete, or from specific to abstract. Experiential learning and exploration of relations among different subjects. One very important thing you will get to see here is coding will be introduced. So all the students who are mathematics is going to have enjoy a very strong hold in this new education policies. So coding will be introduced. I hope you all know about coding. Every student will take a fun course. Fun course is all about vocational courses like carpentry, electrical, metal, gardening. This kind of courses will be compulsory thing. Student will participate in 10 days bagless intern. For 10 days in a year, in an school year, students will come to school without bag and will get intern with local vocational experts. So either schools or institutions have to bring those vocational experts to school, or you have to send your students to the carpenter, the electricians, to have proper knowledge about the basic things. In secondary stage, it is of 4 years. As you all know that it is 5 now, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So it covers classes 9 to 12 and age group 14 to 18. In this stage, multidisciplinary approach will be introduced. Again, I would say that we still follow this multidisciplinary approach in our curriculum, but as per this policy, there will be stress, there will be emphasis, more emphasis on multidisciplinary approach. That means one concept will be taught, keeping in mind different disciplines or subjects. Greater depth, greater critical thinking, greater flexibility, and student choice of subjects will be given importance. So you'll see that in Bloom's taxonomy, there are 6 stages, and the top 3 stages, the HOTS, higher order thinking, will be given more emphasis in these 2 stages of middle and second. One very interesting thing you will notice in this new education policy is no rigid separation between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams. So as I said, voice, choice, and relationship will get, more empowered or strengthened here. Now, for holistic development, as in the beginning only, I said that this education policy shifts from what to how. Now we'll focus more on how to learn rather than what to learn. And that is all from learning objective to learning outcome. Aim is not only cognitive development, but building character with 21st century skills. 21st century skills, the 5 C's. So this will also cover the higher order thinking skills of students. Again, as we all are doing, I would say that identify inherent potential of each child and emphasis on skills and values. So these are common things which we get to see. Mathematics will be given increased emphasis throughout the school years. So we have to be very careful. Besides interactive classes or teaching methodologies, students will get a lot of scope for questions in class. They will enjoy through fun activities, fun vocational courses, collaborative, exploratory, but everywhere you will get to see a touch of mathematical skills. Now, another area where this new education policy in these 2 stages emphasis on is knowledge of India. As I said, in the more Indianization of education system. To ensure it, this envisages that it includes knowledge from ancient India and its contribution to modern India. So as I said, what we lost, we are trying to bring back the lost prestige. An engaging course on Indian knowledge system will be available at secondary stage as an elective. Emphasis will be on Indian games in, as I said, integrated approach. So art integration, sports integration. So in middle school, and of course in almost throughout the school years, you will get more emphasis on Indian games as well, in integration of games and sports. Student will also be taught what is right. What is, I really appreciate this feature of this new education policy, because in nutshell, if we comprise the entire output of our education system, we'll see that if we manage, if we are successful to teach our student what is right, the difference between right and wrong, we are successful educationists then. So this will be introduced, will be taught at a young age its importance of right. Right means kya sahi hai, kya galat hai. To make ethical decisions, the purpose behind this will be, a lot of the previous education system, what I have seen, that it has created a gap between socio-emotional intelligence quotients. So this will, try to cover the gap between, and they will be able to take ethical decisions. Now, assessment, how the assessment will be taken. It will be more regular and formative. To understand this assessment system and examination of middle stage and secondary stage, I shall tell you one thing, that entire school education system is facing one challenge, and that is because of mushrooming of coaching classes. You will see from standard 6th, 7th onwards, teachers, parents, and they show their worry that their children should go to some coaching classes and all. So to counter that coaching culture, assessment system has been introduced. So it will be more competency based. It will promote learning and development, and it will test higher order thinking skills. And at last, one more thing, the report card or your result will be 360-degree, based on your 360-degree feedback from your parents, teachers, students, peers, and all. So this is all about the 2 stages. Thank you, Kirti ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Your conclusions really made it easy for us to decipher NEP. Thank you so much. Now I would like to call upon Preeti ma'am, Dr. Preeti Mathur, to continue her talk about the higher and education in graduation and post-graduation level. Preeti ma'am, over to you.
Permission from Dr. Smith and Dr. Krishna. I am continuing with higher education, but before that I want to emphasize on the 3 points that Dr. Sunil and Dr. Krishna have made. It's being good human being. First is good human being. It is very essential. It will be only at that childhood stage, like up to the age of 5. And early care, emphasized by Dr. Krishna, is the early care is very, very important. How to behave, how to coordinate, and what is manners. So it should be in that, and it will be definitely up to the age of 5 and 6. And Bhartiyata, emphasized by Dr. Sunil, it's really important. So now I'm moving to my slides, and I am going to show my slide. Please, you will be. Please upload my slides. I am not getting on my. Please upload my slides. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just a minute.
And now, before explaining these changes is for the higher education by the new education policy, it's a very, very good changes, and that is emphasized here in for the higher education. It is 4 years for degree, 4 years for degree, 1 or 2 year, 1 or 2 year for graduation and post-graduation, 4 years for graduation, and 1 or 2 years for post-graduation, and 4 years for PhD. And there is a Kriti, please share my slide. So it is like the 4 plus 1 or 2 plus 4.
Preeti ma'am, I
just
just want. Ma'am, you're not audible, so I think.
I am not audible.
Yes.
Ma'am, your voice is really low. It's cracking a bit.
Okay.
I think you need to speak a little bit louder, I think.
So now I am audible.
Yeah, ma'am.
Hello?
Now you're audible. Yeah, yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
Yes,
Kriti.
ma'am.
Okay, please share my slides.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So as I was discussing on the graduation level, it will be the 4 year, and 4 year is provision is for the multiple exit and re-entry points for this 4 year undergraduate program. And very important is that there is a no stream. Now the students are not getting BSc degree or BCom degree or BA degree. It's only graduation degree will be given to students, only graduation. And the 4 year is like divided like first year, if the student is completing first year, he or she will get graduation certificate. And good. Now the PPT is there, and now I am focusing on the PPT. Please focus on, all of you requested to go through my PPT. And if the first year is completed by a student, graduation certificate will be provided. And students has done the second year, then diploma will be provided. Like that, third year, if the student has completed third year, the graduation degree. First graduation certificate, second is the graduation diploma, and third year is the graduation degree. So and this 3 year is it could be used, means 3 year degree course. It could be used for entry any job, or for the higher education, or for the competitive exam like civil services and anything, any examination. So 3 year is enough. But if the students want to pursue the higher education, if he or she is interested to go into the higher education like postgraduate or for the PhD, then the students has to complete the 4 year also. And the 4 year is now called as graduation research. And I hope this year, the 4th year, is mainly emphasized on research, means research based education, because now the student has to go to the higher education or for the PhD. ये ऐसा ही होगा जैसे हम ऑनर्स करते थे. ये 10+2 वाले सिस्टम में हमने ऑनर्स किया था, और हमने ऑनर्स में 2 साल पहले बेसिक सब्जेक्ट पढ़े थे, लेकिन हमारे पास एक स्ट्रीम थी. जैसे कॉमर्स वाले कॉमर्स के ही सब्जेक्ट ले पाते थे, आर्ट्स वाले जो ह्यूमैनिटीज वाले थे वो सिर्फ ह्यूमैनिटीज की सब्जेक्ट ले पाते थे. अब ये मिक्स है. आप चाहो तो बायोलॉजी के साथ हिस्ट्री पढ़ सकते हो, आप चाहो तो केमिस्ट्री के साथ में ज्योग्राफी पढ़ सकते हो। तो ये बहुत ही अच्छा है, बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है ये चीजें होना, बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है। और जैसे कि डॉक्टर सुनील ने बताया, जो +2 वाले स्टूडेंट होंगे, जब वहाँ पे +2 होगा वहाँ पे भी कोई अपनी चॉइस से आप लीजिए, अपनी चॉइस से सब्जेक्ट लीजिए। लेकिन देखिए यहाँ ये चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होगी कि अगर बच्चा मेडिकल साइंस में जाना चाहता है तब तो उसको पक्का साइंस ही लेना पड़ेगा, जैसे उसको फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री और बायोलॉजी ही ऑप्ट करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ये बेसिक है आपके मेडिकल साइंस में जाने के लिए। या उसको इंजीनियरिंग में जाना है तो फिर उसको तो फिर कंपलसरी फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री और मैथ्स ही लेना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि कंपटीशन तो इन्हीं सब्जेक्ट के बेस पे होगा। उसको हिस्ट्री, तब वो अपने हिस्ट्री से इंटरेस्ट से कोई ऐसा सब्जेक्ट नहीं लिख सकता। लेकिन बच्चे अगर इस स्ट्रीम में नहीं जाना चाहते हैं, पर्टिकुलर मेडिकल साइंस या इंजीनियरिंग में, तो फिर उनके लिए सारी दुनिया खुली हुई है। वो कुछ भी पढ़ें और आगे कुछ भी परस्यू करें, ये उनके लिए बहुत ही बेनिफिशियल होगा। क्योंकि बच्चों की होती है, मैंने देखा है, मेरा बड़ा अच्छा, मैं एक कहूँगी मैं बहुत सौभाग्यशाली रही कि मैंने स्कूल में पढ़ाया है और मैंने +2 में भी पढ़ाया है, मैंने ग्रेजुएशन में, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन में, अब मैं PhD भी करा रही हूँ। तो मैंने देखा है कि बच्चों की बहुत अलग अलग होती है। बच्चे कहते हैं मैम इसमें इतना मन नहीं लगता है, मुझे तो ज्योग्राफी पढ़ने का मन था। तो अब ये बहुत ही अच्छा है, ये बहुत ही ओपन हो गया। देखिए मैंने आपको 4 ईयर तो डिस्क्राइब कर दिया, अब मैं आऊंगी पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट पे। अब मैंने आपको बताया कि पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट इट विल बी 1 और 2 ईयर, मतलब आप 1 साल का भी कर सकते हैं, आप 2 साल का कर सकते हैं। 1 साल का आप कब करेंगे? जब आपने 4 साल ग्रेजुएशन में आपके हो चुके हैं, तब आपको 1 साल का ही पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट करना पड़ेगा। और अगर आपने ग्रेजुएशन के 3 साल पढ़े, मतलब 3 साल के बाद आपने छोड़ दिया, तो आप इसमें 2 साल आपको करना पड़ेगा। यहाँ फिर वापस से फिर मैं ग्रेजुएशन वाली डिग्री पे आना चाहूंगी। यहाँ पे मल्टीपल एंट्री और एग्जिट पॉइंट, जैसे मैंने बताया, इसमें एंट्री का क्या मतलब है कि जैसे बहुत सारे आपने देखा हो गांव में या शहरों में भी, मैंने देखा है खासकर लड़कियों के केस में, गर्ल्स के केस में, ये एक बड़ी भारी प्रॉब्लम है, या जो कह लीजिए इसको, कि उनकी शादी हो जाती है। जैसे ही उन्होंने ग्रेजुएशन में एडमिशन लिया, उनकी शादी हो गई। फिर आपको पता है कि शादी के बाद और बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं, फैमिली बर्डन इतना ज्यादा होता है कि वो लड़कियां छोड़ देती हैं पढ़ाई, लेकिन वह कहीं ना कहीं तो मन करता है कि नहीं हम इसको आगे पढ़ें। तो इसके लिए वो ठीक है, उन्होंने एक सर्टिफिकेट डिग्री ले ली। अब वो जब यूनिवर्सिटी में आएंगी तो उनको 2nd ईयर से शुरू करना पड़ेगा। अभी तक क्या था, अगर आपका छूट गया, अगर आपने 4-5 साल के बाद फिर से ज्वाइन करना चाहा, तो आपको फिर से ही अपनी ग्रेजुएशन में 1st ईयर में ही एडमिशन लेना पड़ता था। वो नहीं कंसीडर होता था कि ठीक है आपने 2 साल पढ़ लिया या आपने 1 साल पढ़ा, तो वो कुछ कंसीडर नहीं होता था। तो ये बहुत ही अच्छा है। ये कई बार लड़कियों की शादी केस में होता है, और मैंने बॉयज को देखा, उनकी फैमिली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कभी कभी इतनी उन पे आ जाती है कि वो पढ़ाई छोड़ के फिर जॉब वगैरह करते हैं कि नहीं अब हम पढ़ाई कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं, अब हम जॉब करेंगे क्योंकि हमारी फैमिली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आ गई। कभी कभी मैंने बच्चों को देखा है, उनकी बीमार हो जाते हैं, वो कोई प्रॉब्लम आ जाती, तब वो छोड़ देते हैं। फिर उनको बहुत दिक्कत होती है क्योंकि उनको फिर से 1st ईयर, 2nd ईयर, 3rd ईयर इस तरह से करना पड़ता है। तो ये बहुत ही अच्छा, ये मल्टीपल एग्जिट और एंट्री पॉइंट जो है, ये बहुत ही मैं तो कहूँगी गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से बहुत ही बढ़िया ये कदम है। उसके बाद हम लोग जैसे पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, अब हम नेक्स्ट पॉइंट और एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट जो हम डिस्कस करना चाहते हैं वो है, अब इसमें कोई एमफिल की डिग्री नहीं है। और एमफिल की डिग्री अभी भी है, लेकिन एमफिल की डिग्री अभी भी जो है वो उसमें हिंडर नहीं करती है आपकी PhD। अगर आपके पास एमफिल नहीं हो तो आप डायरेक्ट पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट के बाद PhD में ज्वाइन कर सकते हो। एमफिल एक एक्स्ट्रा डिग्री है जो कहीं कहीं बड़ी एप्लीकेबल है, जैसे क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजी में ये बहुत एप्लीकेबल है। ये 2 साल का एमफिल करके आप अपनी क्लिनिक चला सकते हैं। तो कहीं कहीं तो था, लेकिन ज्यादातर जगह पे, ज्यादातर यूनिवर्सिटी इसको इतना ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दे रही थी। तो ये एक पैरेलल डिग्री थी, PhD की पैरेलल डिग्री थी। PhD तो 4 साल में होता है, तो एमफिल 2 साल में आप करके और आप अपना रिसर्च कर सकते हैं या क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजी में अपना क्लिनिक शुरू कर सकते हैं। अच्छा, अब ये PhD है, PhD अभी भी देखिए 3 या 4 साल से पहले कंप्लीट नहीं होता है, और ये नए वाले कोर्स में भी इसको 4 साल की ही मान्यता दी गई है। 4 साल में ही आप कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि PhD में इतना ज्यादा चीजें होती हैं, आप एकदम नया विषय लेके शुरू करते हैं। एक चीज और मैं यहाँ पे फोकस करना चाहूंगी, UGC और AICTE जो ये हायर एजुकेशन की जो 2 संस्थाएं थी, इनको भी मर्ज कर दिया गया है। इनको अब एक मर्ज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में लिया जाएगा और बहुत सारे स्कूल, कॉलेजेस और यूनिवर्सिटी का एस्टेब्लिशमेंट की यहाँ पे बातें आ रही हैं, तो जो कि और बहुत ही ये अगर इसको इस डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे आ जाएंगे तो ये बहुत अच्छा होगा। तो इतना ही अभी तक जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन है, और लेट्स होप फॉर बेस्ट। और अभी 22 से ये इम्प्लीमेंट होने की बातें हैं, देखते हैं। ओवर टू प्रीति, थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for explaining the wide and big NEP. All thank you to Krishna ma'am, Sunil sir, and Preeti ma'am. On behalf of St. Anandram Jaipuria family, Alambag, I extend a very hearty thanks to all the panelists.
Preeti ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
questions, 1 or 2 questions. That,
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is there anybody who wants to ask questions related to these levels of the new NEP? You can post your message or your question in the chat box.
Ma'am, may I ask a question?
Yes, there is somebody who wants to ask.
Yes.
The question is, we are emphasizing on mother tongue in the primary education. Whether the book will be written in mother tongue or whether we will continue with the same book, but the medium of instruction will be shifted to mother tongue. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. See, it has been said that literature will be provided in the mother tongue also, but that will take time, especially to provide literature in sciences and mathematics. But even till class 8, the new education policy is saying that books will be provided or written material will be provided. Until then, till the written material is not provided, teachers will go bilingual. That is, the books might be in a language that is popularly, the book is published, but the explanation and the teaching will also be done in the mother tongue or the local language or the home language. But definitely we are looking forward for books in mother tongue.